Kaminsky, bucket good in the ball.
Mantel all the way to the basket. Foul, lays it in for two.
Good morning, basketball fans. Welcome to another edition of the Upstate Hoops Podcast. I'm Jim Sinacropi here inside the FingerLakes1.com studios on the third floor of the North Park building in Seneca Falls, New York. It's time for our weekly roundup of Wayne Finger Lakes High School basketball on Sunday, January 13th, 2019. And great episode today. Got four Newark Red seniors in studio: Mason VanDeMortel, Jayden Peters, Kyle Martinez, and Adian Elliot. We're going to look at the week's action. We're going to look at next week's schedule. We got new power rankings and a lot to get to. So remind you that the Upstate Hoops Podcast and all of our coverage of Wayne Finger Lakes High School basketball is brought to you thanks to the support of Generations Bank. The newest way to save money is also the easiest way to save money with the new MyGen Perks mobile app. Get all the details at mygenbank.com. And by Little John Orthodontics. Dr. Rod Littlejohn and Dr. Liz Barbie are proud to support our area high school athletes. Check out Dr. Rod and Dr. Liz online at littlejohnortho.com. And Bill Cram Chevrolet. All roads lead to Bill Cram Chevrolet. All roads lead to Bill Cram Chevrolet on 5 and 20 between Seneca Falls and Waterloo. Browse their full inventory of new and used vehicles at billcramchevrolet.com. So, full house today. Newark Reds in studio. We've got Mason VanDeMortel. Hello, Mason. Thanks for making the drive in. We've got Kyle Martinez and Adian Elliot, fellas. And, of course, we got Jayden Peters in studio. First of all, Jayden, why'd you cut your hair? You used to have these long, flowing locks.
There's a story to it. So my grandma was like, if you cut your hair, I'll get you a dog.
Oh, she didn't like the long hair?
Nah, she didn't like it. So then I cut my hair and I got a dog.
What kind of dog?
A Shih Tzu.
What's his name?
Sonny.
Sonny?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I thought you might have named him Havrilla.
Nah.
Or something like that.
Or
Okay.
Django.
So anyways, Newark basketball, one of the elite programs in Section 5. Fifth all-time sectional titles with 12. Number 2 in Section 5 for most wins since 1975, which is kind of the modern era when they started playing the tournaments. And Lions, number 1. So you guys are neighbors. Two communities right next door to each other. Number 1 and 2 in Section 5 most wins. 15 championship appearances, 8 regional appearances, 4 New York State Final Fours. Coach Saravollo sectional titles in 89, 91, 97, and 08, and Coach Havrilla titles in 2010, 2016. So what's it like, first of all, you guys appreciate the history, Mason, of Newark basketball?
Definitely. I think that we've been coached by a lot of great coaches, and I mean, it shows.
Yeah. How about you guys? You understand the history?
Oh yeah, I remember going when I was a little kid, going to all the games, watching people like Javon McCray just tear everything up.
Yeah.
It was just so great, and that's a great example for us and to follow suit. It's been pretty.
Did that make you want? Did that make you want to like practice, get harder, so you could be a part of it?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Like summer league, we went out there, had some good competition, and pull out with some wins.
Yep. So, Jayden, if you had to like describe Newark basketball in like 30 seconds or 60 seconds, if you have to tell somebody that didn't know anything about Newark basketball, how would you describe it?
I'll describe it like you can't worry about yourself. You got to worry about the team. Put the team first, and you got to work hard too. If you don't work hard, then you're not going to play. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Just worry about the team. Team comes first, and just work hard. That's what we do.
Okay. So it's been an interesting recent history. Jayden, you were called up as a freshman on a team that won the Class B1 sectional championship, beat Palmac for the title, 68-65, and then I think you went on to lose to Wellsville in the state playing round. How much did you take from that season and apply to like the rest of your career?
That season, it showed me how or how fun it can be to go on a sectional run, and it makes me just want to go on a sectional run. It makes me want to win sectionals.
Mm-hmm. And then the next year, lost to Minders in the Blue Cross. I mean, that was a great season. You guys were both played in a doubleheader in Victor. You guys beat Livonia. Minders beat Early College, and then Minders won the title game. And were you called up for that game, Mason?
Yeah.
And what did you take from that experience that you can apply to this year?
Like Jayden said, I think it just made me realize how fun it can be to win and to be on a successful team, and I always wanted that. So
yeah, I mean that was a great year from start to finish. Well, both those past 2 years now, but last year it was kind of an aberration for Newark basketball. Went 7-14, 6-8 in the league. Lost in the opening round as a 9 seed in Class B. And why do you think that last year was down? You guys obviously bounced back this year.
Yeah.
Kind of returning to what you normally expect from Newark. But why the down year last year?
Take that.
I just feel like last year we had the skill set and everything to do good, but we just didn't click together right.
Yeah. Clicking this year though?
Yeah, we played AAU together in summer league and just got everyone together to really put in the work and just get better together as a team.
So, Mason, you mentioned the coaches. I mean, Coach Couperis is at the helm now. Coach Avrilla is a great motivator, no doubt about that. And then Coach Saravello on the bench this year. How much was Coach Saravello involved even in like when you were younger coming up? Was he someone that was around a lot?
He definitely was someone that would like always like help us and maybe like come to like modified practices, stuff like that. Always help us like try to get better as a team and yeah. And then he's on the bench now. So I mean, you guys have Coach Avrilla, Coach Saravello on the bench, and then Coach Couperis is the head coach. But man, those are some strong personalities all on the bench at the same time. How's that working out?
I think it's actually working out a lot better than people thought it would, but it's more because we get an angle, like each coach has like a mindset or a different look on the game, and so we get different looks at the game.
Right. And they ever get on you guys?
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
But then that helps because one coach will say something that will help the other coach understand something else that they're stuck on.
Yeah.
They're struggling with.
I mean, I think it's great having Coach Saravello on the bench. I went to the game you guys played at Minders. That was the first time I saw you guys play this year. First time I've seen him back on the bench. He used to be on the bench for a while when Coach Avrilla was the head coach, but just seeing him on the bench, it's almost like it's 1983 again. He's like up. He's real excitable.
I love having him back.
He's greeting you guys when you come off the court. So I think it's definitely pretty cool having him back out there, and certainly with his experience and knowledge, it's a great asset for the program. So you guys seem to have a good feel for Newark and the history of Newark and everything. What about other teams in your league or in the Wayne Finger Lakes or Section 5? You guys follow it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, you guys watch, Mace, you watch any of the other games on Finger Lakes 1 when you're not playing?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes like if I can't make it to a game, then I like watching on Finger Lakes 1 and stuff like that. Yeah.
And you guys get out to gyms whenever you can?
I try to.
Yep.
As much as possible.
Now, one thing I noticed, you were at I think you all might have been at that Lions North Star game, right?
We was all at that game.
Yeah.
That was a great game. I mean, that place was packed. It kind of lived up to the hype and everything. But then
Not exceeded it.
the next game was Geneva Rochester Prep, and that's a team you guys are playing. You're not playing Lions or North Star, but you're playing Geneva. You guys all left.
Yeah.
Didn't want to stick around for that Geneva U Prep or Rochester Prep game?
I mean, I feel like they had it in hand.
Yeah.
So I really didn't think.
But Kyle, I don't know how many of you guys were there, but I saw Kyle at the Minders Geneva game.
Oh, that was just me.
It was just you?
Yeah.
So what's your takeaway of Geneva? You got those guys Tuesday after watching them play.
I think they play good defense, so we're gonna have to help each other out if we get stuck or something in the game, and just see what comes Tuesday.
Yeah, it's I'm anticipating a really good game, and when we get to the standings in a little bit, you're going to see the Newark and Geneva right there behind Wayne. Newark with a game lead over you guys after losing to Wayne, but you can get right back there. Or if Geneva wins that game, all of a sudden their game against Wayne would be for first place. But Wayne's tough, and that's one of the things. High school basketball, you guys kind of came of age right at the same time that Wayne has this best team they've ever had. They never won a sectional title there. Now they won 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
How do you? Well, yeah, I guess I'll get ahead of myself. Let's talk about that Wayne game on Friday night. You guys come in. Wayne jumps out to a pretty big lead. I think they were up 16, but you guys didn't give up and came back, which is tough to do. I think you cut it to 2 or 3 at one point after Kyle hit a couple 3-pointers, and Jayden, you got hot too from behind the arc. But Wayne, like I said, a really good team. You're on the road in their gym, and you're down 16. How did you guys come back, Mason?
I mean, I think as a team in the locker room, we were all just like stuck together as a team. We knew that we could come out and play hard and get ourselves right back in the game.
And Kyle, you like I said, you hit 2 big 3-pointers in that game. You're usually not the first option on offense. You feel like you need to step up. They weren't even open. One of them, Blankenberg, I think, was closing out on you.
Yeah, he was. Well, Coach Cervolo would always tell me to shoot it, and he got on me at halftime that I needed to shoot more, so I came out and did it.
Yeah, 2 big shots. And really, the game felt like it could go either way at that point. Just a couple of bad bounces. And Jayden, you were hot that game too. You've had some really 5-6 3-pointer games. Can you tell when you're feeling it, or are you just gonna unconscious just keep shooting it no matter what?
It doesn't matter if I'm 0 for 10 or if I'm 7 for 10. I'm gonna shoot the ball if I'm open.
Okay, well, another thing about this team that I was kind of shocked at is you started coming out this year playing zone. And Newark traditionally man-to-man, if you think of Newark basketball, at least me, going back to, when I was in school in the late 1980s, was great man-to-man defense. You never had to scout them or anything for defensively because you knew they were just going to play man-to-man defense, great man-to-man defense. But you're playing zone this year. And I was impressed, too, with how effective the zone was against Wayne. I mean, not too surprised to see you play a zone against Wayne. I mean, you've been playing a lot of zone. But you guys really, caused some trouble for Carmichael inside. Jayden, when did you first learn that you're going to play a lot of zone defense this year?
Once we started practicing, Coach basically made us run the 2-3 in practice every day, and it's effective. We're lanky. We get our arms in the passing lanes, keep our hands up, and it's pretty effective.
Yeah, it's you guys like playing the zone, Adian? You like playing the zone?
Yeah, I think the zone's really effective for our team and like our style because we have a lot of really athletic guys who are also, like Jayden said, pretty long, so we can get out into the passing lanes pretty easily, and it allows for us to help each other out like more so than we might be able to in a man-to-man.
Yeah, I mean that's like I said, first time I saw you was against Minders in Seneca Falls, and the first thing I noticed, and I heard from a few people, Newark's going to be bounced back from last year. You should see them; they're really athletic, they're big. And that's the first thing I noticed when you guys were warming up is that across the board you guys had a lot of size. Looked like you got some guys bulked up. But yeah, that zone defense is strong, and usually to develop a really good zone, it takes a few years. But Kyle, do you think is that something that like the whole coaching staff, Kuparis, Havrilis, Cervolo, like all bought into, or was that Kuparis's idea, wanted to do that?
I think since summer league, we coach realized that we were lengthy and everything, so I think they all came to a group decision to decide that this could work. So we tried it, and it does, and it doesn't mean we can't work hard on zone. Like, we still have to.
Well, good zone, I think you work just as hard as man-to-man,
Yeah,
actually. I
exactly.
think it's kind of a myth.
Some people think that you.
You sit back in the zone.
Yeah, sit back and don't do anything.
Yeah, you sit back in the zone, you get killed, and there's a lot of slides and help defense. And you guys watch any Syracuse basketball?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite college team?
I like Duke.
I like
geez,
Syracuse.
well, Mason, here's Mason VanDeMortel. So last you're going to see him
I like
for the
Duke
rest of the
too.
show because he likes Duke. Do you guys realize that you live right next door to Jim Boeheim's hometown?
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I look. I know a lot of people like Coach K for Minders, big Duke fan too, one of my good friends. So I'm just kidding, but I went to Syracuse. I love Syracuse, and guys up here like North Carolina and Duke and all that. Man, how about you guys?
I mean, I tend to pick a college team based off of who I like. It's like seeing
As a
high
player?
School. Like, if I see somebody in high school that like, I'm like, oh, they're gonna be nice.
Oh, right.
I'm like, okay. So this year, obviously, it's gonna be Duke.
Because of Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
Dang.
And RJ, Cam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle, how about you? Got a favorite college
Duke.
team? Duke. Man, jeez. Jayden, who's yours?
Got to figure
I
the
like
top
Hughes.
5 picks.
There you go. Well, let's focus on Jayden. But the Cuse zone, do you ever like watch them play and like kind of apply what you're seeing in their zone to what you guys are trying to do?
Yeah, I do pay attention to what they do in their zone, and I try to pay attention to the little things.
Yeah, it's but you know, Coach Boeheim obviously has that down to a science. But yeah, I mean that's one of the things that, like I say, Newark man-to-man team playing zone, but it's a great zone. You guys are working just as hard as if you were in a man-to-man. Maybe a little less pressing this year, or actually just a few games I've seen you play. But what was the game plan against Newark? Did Coach talk, or against Wayne last Friday night? Did he like set you up before the game, Mason?
Yeah, definitely.
So what was the game plan?
Kind of just we worked on, kind of like what kind of defenses they would run and like how we'd beat them in, and we worked on our zone and try to like do different things in our zone and just stuff like that. And
what about Logan Blankenberg? He just scored his 1,000th point this week. Obviously, a great player. He was all great at Rochester last year. Did he get mentioned pregame?
Actually,
You got it.
well, for me more so.
Yeah.
Coach was putting more of an emphasis on Carmichael
Okay.
and how, because he's been tearing it up inside.
Yeah.
And against majority of teams in the league. So he made it a point of emphasis to me that I was to not let him get the ball, or if I did let him get the ball, I had to play as aggressively as I possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was just.
Yeah, like I say, you guys did a great job that game. Early deficit, came back. We were in it right at the end there. You guys have got off to a great start. I think you raised a lot of eyebrows when you beat Canandaigua and Victor back-to-back at Canandaigua. A lot of people don't. Both those teams ended up not being quite as good as maybe we thought they'd be, or they have been in recent history. So that might have devalued those wins a little bit. But then you go to Minders, really took it to them. Mid-Lakes, Palmac, and then you guys lost to Waterloo. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Oh man, maybe we're wrong about Newark," or that also made a lot of people think, "Oh man, Waterloo's for real." What happened in that Waterloo game, Jayden?
It's a fluke. They
Fluke
came
game?
out hot. They came out hot.
Mhm.
We couldn't hit it.
Yeah, you guys, and we're going to be there when you guys are back in Waterloo for that rematch. Is that a date you guys have circled on the calendar?
February
February
8th.
8th.
No, I guess
Yeah.
so. I guess so. Yeah. What was the talk like, Mason, after that game in the locker room?
Definitely that. I think our defense wasn't consistent through the whole game. Definitely, I think that they got a lot of easy looks and stuff like that, and yeah,
Hit a lot of threes. I
Oh,
heard.
yeah.
Yeah.
we didn't really get out as we should have.
Yeah, we ain't pressed it up, close
Yeah,
out like we should have.
Yeah, and obviously they were hot, but it was a combination of our inability to close out in certain spots and just let them keep building on it and building
Yeah.
on their run and letting them get their confidence up. So
Yeah, and it was a weird game. They came out in the first quarter and
8, right?
built a big lead.
Yeah. They had the best shooting night of their
17-2.
lives that night.
And then second, third quarter, you guys come back. They didn't score much. I don't even think they got double digits in the second or third quarter.
No, they didn't.
And then fourth quarter, they started getting hot again. And kind of pulled away. So knew it was going to be a real interesting year in the East. You know, you got Wayne. You knew they were going to be the favorites, but then didn't know what to think about Waterloo, Newark, Geneva, even Minders, our Mid-Lakes. You know, we didn't really know what that next tier was going to look like, and we still kind of don't. It's still kind of wide open. But after that, you guys went down to Elmira. You do it every year around Christmas for the Josh Palmer tournament. And against some real good competition, you guys won that tournament, and kind of great way to bounce back from that, you know, loss to Waterloo was with that tournament. You guys like going down there every year?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's a good team bonding, something for team bonding. Have a fun time with your team and hopefully bring home the trophy.
Yeah, and you guys don't stay down there, right? You went down, played the first game, then take the bus back, and then go with.
Nah, we stayed one day.
Did you?
No,
Yeah, it's
It was set up weird this year.
yeah.
We played Thursday, and then if we
It's
won,
Sunday,
we played
right?
Sunday. Yeah.
Like it's like
I thought it might have been a typo or something when I first saw that. But you beat Elmira by 11, and then you beat Mansfield by 9, and then come back and win at Penn Yan. I think you lost at Penn Yan last year, so a nice 30-point win there. And then the 6-point loss to Wayne last Friday night. So, Mason, how does it feel to be the only player in Section 5 with 3 capital letters in your last name?
It's great.
I actually don't know if that's true, but it could be. It could be.
Maybe.
And Kyle, you know, you're the Newark point guard, and since Finger Lakes 1 has been covering Wayne Finger Lakes High School basketball, there's been some great point guards. Tyler Collins was an amazing player, and he actually was on our halftime show of that Lions North Star Christian game, so it was good to talk to Tyler again. And then after Tyler left, it was like, might be down a little bit, but then Jose Santellan his senior year was phenomenal. And so now all of a sudden, heading into this year, not knowing how the point guard position was going to go, you stepped in and are running the point, you're doing a great job. Do you take anything from the guys that came before you? Did you know those guys when you were growing up?
Oh, yeah, I did. Jose Santel, I look up to him for his decision-making. He made some great decisions and was smooth and crafty with his game. And Tyler was quick, got the ball up the court, and that's what we do now, and that really helps us score easy points in the game.
And Adian, I know that Jayden's a shooter. I know Mason's inside-out player, kind of long. Kyle's running the point. How about you? What's your role on the team? It seems like, I don't know if you're looking for scoring, for rebounding, for, to be physical. Like, what's your role?
Well, I think my role varies on the night. Some nights, like, I'll be tasked with defending a dominant post player like a Nick Carmichael or somebody like that. And then other nights, it'll be I need to focus on boarding and getting, like, every rebound that I possibly can. And I don't know, I feel like I do either of those as well as I possibly can. And then if I don't, then sometimes we will, like, fall.
Yeah, it seems like a player like you would be someone that would every game might be a little different based on the team you're playing. But like I say, Jayden is going to do kind of what he does. It's not going to change too much based on who they're playing, but it seems like you'd have to be flexible. Is that tough? Do you, like, to yourself, think about the game, heading into the next game? Are you thinking about what could be different, what it could be like? Seems like it's a lot. It would be harder for you to kind of prep for these games, knowing that you're going to be the kind of the versatile guy that might have to change his role around a little bit.
Well, going back to what you said about knowing other teams in the league, that's a big part of how I get ready for the games. I'll watch, like, if you guys have any tape on them available, or if like there's anything on Huddle, I'll watch that and see, like, what they do, what they're good at. And I'll especially look at who I'm going to be matched up against and see what their strengths and weaknesses are, and try and use those to my advantage, help the team get the win.
Well, we're already almost 25 minutes into the show, so I think I should move forward here and kind of recap some of the action around the leagues. And, Wayne Eagles in first in the East. You guys had an opportunity to upset them. You'll have another opportunity when they come to Newark later this month, or maybe it's even early February. February 3rd?
No, it's
late January, I knew that.
It's February 31st, I think.
January.
Or,
February doesn't have 31 days.
Yeah, my bad. January.
But like I said, we talked about that game. Jayden, 18 points. Kyle, a couple big three-pointers. Mason, 15 points. Kind of a lot of inside-out action. Josh Green, 8 points too. Josh Green brings a lot of athleticism and length to that zone and in general. Talk a little bit, Jayden, about Josh Green.
Josh works hard. He shows up to practice every day and works hard. That's what he does. He knows his role and he does his job.
And another junior, Augusto, big guy. Talk about him, Mason.
Devin is actually a big part of our offense, I would think, because I mean he's a great player once he gets it in the paint. I mean he can finish and he's got like a little jump shot he can do. So he's definitely, I mean, leave him open, he's dangerous. So gotta guard him.
So Logan Helgado, 18 points. Usually not the first guy on the scouting report for Wayne. You know, Blankenberg's usually number one, Carmichael's two, and then you wonder what the point guard Billy Thompson's going to do. And then there's Logan. Was hot from three. Worked hard all game. 18 points, was our Chicino's player of the game. And Wayne comes out with a 61-55 win. Then Wayne goes on and beats Palmac 72-34, capping the week for Wayne. And Logan Blankenberg scored his 1,000th point. Second in school history, joining Sammy Weech, who was also coached by Bill Thompson 23 years ago. So this group at Wayne doing a lot of things that are rare at Wayne, or some that have never been done, winning their first sectional title. And, on pace for making a run at number 3. Of course, there was a tweet this week from North Star Christian from their game. There was a 6'9" player sitting on the bench, transfer from France. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but all of a sudden there's this rumor that this 6'9" kid from France is going to join the team once he gets his practices in. And so bad news for Wayne there, because North Star is now up in A2, and that could spark the whole private-public debate, bringing in a transfer like that mid-season. But, we'll wait and see what happens there. Again, that might just be a rumor, but it seems a lot of people are talking about it this week. Geneva Panthers, big week for Coach Miller. They played 3 games. They beat Virtus on the road 57-37. Then they had to come back the very next night and beat Palmac. And they won 46-45, a 1-point win. Palmac had the ball in the air with a chance to win last possession. Obviously a frustrating season for Palmac and Coach Nolan. Zach Baker, 16 points. Nick Sapienza, 12 in that one. But Geneva did get the win. Reed Patch had 18 points and 6 rebounds to lead the Panthers. And then they played in Seneca Falls against Minders on Friday night and really handed it to the Blue Devils, 58-33. Real balanced effort. Nick Askin with 13 points, Akeem Hudson 10 points, 8 rebounds. Liam Ryan 9 points, 5 assists. Just looks super out there. And Dante Reed 6 points, 7 rebounds. I mean, they're really balanced. They can go 9 deep, and you're not really missing too much. Great guards like Bossard and Jagger Kerr, Nick Askin, and Liam Ryan, Kaya Pereira. And they did a good job on Darren Miller for Minders, holding him to 14 points. Minders is not going to win many games when Darren Miller scores 14 points. Pulled down 12 rebounds as well. And so a nice week for Geneva and a tough week for Minders. They also lost on the road at Avon, 58-45. And then also in the East, Midlakes is hanging around. Nice win at Palmac, 62-50. Matt Mattoon, 23 points. Ryan Springler with 10, for Pena, and Connor Finger at 15. But Midlake's kind of hanging around. They're in your guys' classification in B1 and could be a dark horse team there. So let me just pull up the Finger Lakes East standings. Geneva half game back. Tuesday night, Geneva-Newark square off in Geneva. Pretty big game in the East. Geneva needs the win if they want to entertain hopes of potentially winning the East this year. And you guys certainly need the win if you want to get back to a point where you have a chance to catch Wayne. So that's going to be a good one coming up this week. And then there's Waterloo just hanging around there too, also tied with you guys at 4-2. And you guys got to go to Waterloo again this year. Geneva beat Waterloo once. They're going to have to play them again. Wayne beat Waterloo once. They're going to have to play them again. So it's still pretty wide open. But as we suspected heading into the season, Wayne was going to be the team to beat. Finger Lakes West, Naples got crushed at Whitman in the game we did at Finger Lakes 1, but they did a nice job of bouncing back. They snuck by South Seneca down in Vine Valley 58-56, despite 26 points and 11 rebounds from Anthony Ruff, who's been doing pretty well for South Seneca, along with a lot of other players, Matt Kenyon, Jeremy Williamson, Richie Thomas. And for Naples, you had Nick Green with 13 points and Cole Rathman with just 9.6 assists, way down. So they did a nice job on him, but Naples still able to pull out the win. And so then you think, man, Naples struggling, get killed by Whitman, barely get by South Seneca. Then they come back against one of the top teams in the West in Red Jacket and beat them 59-53 in their gym. And Rathman had 21 points on 7 and 9 free throw shooting there. Nick Clearman 15 points in that game, and for Red Jacket, Chase Rizzo 21. Mason Polat 12 points on 4 threes, and then Red Jacket went on to beat Honeoye also this week. But in the Finger Lakes West, Whitman has remained dominant. I don't see anybody knocking them off their perch here. As this would be 4 straight Finger Lakes West titles if they can close it out. 2 straight alone. 3 years ago they shared it with 2 other teams, Naples and Bloomfield. I think they all split, but they crushed Romulus 72-32, and Romulus have been playing better. Seth Benedict 17 points, John Donovan with 13, Liam Prendergrass with 10. They crush HAC 64-30. Donovan with 16, Benedict's with 11 points, 5 assists. Aiden Royston, sophomore, with 12 there. And then, Honeoye is another team that I think's gotten off to a bad start, but certainly could pull it together and make another run in sectionals. Last year, they got all the way to the Blue Cross Arena before losing to Clyde. Tyler Rudolph had 18 points, 5 assists, and 17 rebounds in that win over Dundee. And Dom Trippi with 21 points and 5 assists. Jack Reynolds with 12 points and 5 assists. A lot of passing going on in the Finger Lakes West, so fun basketball to watch. And then also a rivalry game. South Seneca got their first win of the year, defeating Romulus 55-47 at the Jack Guyan Arena. And Anthony Ruff with 29 points on 10 of 11 free throw shooting in that one. Luke Willower had 17 for Romulus, and Spencer John had 15. So move ahead now to Wayne County. And Lions, forget about it. They're just killing everybody in the Wayne County League. But there's one team I think that has a chance to spoil their season. That would be Gananda. And Tuesday night, Finger Lakes 1 will be at the Atwood as Jaden Castroncini, Andrew Gabbard and company, Cole Wright come and take on Justice Smith and the Lions. And Gananda with a great week heading into this one. They beat Mid-Lakes 53-48. Castroncini and Gabbard had 14 apiece in that one. And I always get interested when I see these cross-league games because it helps kind of evaluate where you are. And a lot of times you'll get a team at the bottom of the East play a team near the top of the East or the West standings, and the team in the East will win. A lot of times you'll get crossovers between the East and the West. And the top teams in Wayne County generally compete with the top teams in the East. But after that, it's usually, the East teams win. Gananda with a nice win against a Mid-Lakes team who had been playing better. And then they go on and really send a statement in a rivalry game against East Rochester. They beat them this week 72-40. And I've seen East Rochester play this year. They're a good team. Gananda then crushed North Rose Wolcott 84-39. So Gananda playing great basketball right now, heading into that game against Lions on Tuesday. 11-1 overall, 8-1 in the league, just one game behind Lions. Lions just keeps rolling. I mean, they played Marion and Williamson this week. I mean, I'm afraid that they're going to get bored. They beat Marion by 50, 96-46. They beat Williamson 78-45. Justice Smith had 37 against Marion and 26 against Williamson. Justin Smith had 22 against Williamson. And for Marion, Jonathan Binyao had 26 points. But again, I wonder sometimes if Lions is getting bored. And also kind of a strange thing. I don't know when the last time Marion beat Clyde was. Probably like 2010. But they beat them this week in their own gym, 56-54. So some tough times in Clyde Savannah after losing so many players to graduation last year. So you guys, like I mentioned off the top, are neighbors with Lions. And they got a great team this year. How much do you know, Jayden, about Lions this year? Have you watched any of their games?
Yeah, I watched their games. We played them over the summer at Summer League a few times.
Justice Smith, what do you think about him in terms of...
Justice or Justice?
Justice.
He's good, but he's in Class C.
Oh, so you guys think if you guys played Lions that you guys would handle them?
Yeah.
How about you guys? Would you like to see that matchup? Don't you wish you could play those guys?
Like Jayden said, we faced them in Summer League and beat them twice.
We beat them 2 out of 3 times, so...
Yeah. So we'll just... If that did happen, then we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
I get frustrated in the fact that you got 2 of the 1 and 2 in Section 5 in terms of wins for programs, Newark and Lions, right next door to each other, and you guys have played once in 50 years. One time. And that was probably 4 years ago. Do you guys... And some might say, well, sectional points, or you're trying to prepare your team. Why do you guys think you don't play Lions? It's a 3-minute bus drive.
I don't know. It's a great question, honestly.
Do you wish you would play
I wish
him?
we played Lions.
Yeah.
How about you, Mason?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the type of game that you look forward to. You would mark on your calendar, and it would be huge attendance, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, yeah.
You guys would fill your gym. I bet you when you went, if you were to play every year alternating, if you were playing at Lions, they might have it at the community center. Mm-hmm. That place would fill up. It doesn't make sense. So I'm going to say to Chris Corey and Steve Veter, 2 athletic directors, line that up. Let's go.
Line it up. Yeah,
let's
get it
play.
going.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
I mean, high school basketball to me is about
really frustrating.
about getting the community out on a Friday night, all together in one place, watching some great basketball. For the players to, have these games, that's the type of game that most players, I think, would remember for the rest of their life. So you can't win a sectional title every year. You can't go to the state Final Four every year, but you can play a game like that against a local rival, and those are the games 30 years from now that you'll be sitting around telling your kids about, or getting together with your teammates, former teammates, and reminiscing about those games. So I think we got to make this happen. Instead of some of these random games that teams play where you're hopping on a bus for 45 minutes, head across town, play your local rival, especially in the case of, like I say, Lions and Newark. I mean, it should be a no-brainer every year. So hopefully we'll see that on the schedule next year. Now that I hope AD Chris Corey and Steve Reed are both viewers of the Upstate Hoop podcast. So, as I mentioned, Tuesday night we'll be at the Atwood for Gananda Lions. Should be a good one. At that same night, you guys will be taking on Geneva in Geneva, and we'll be getting updates from that one as well. Got to run through the girls real quick here in the Finger Lakes East. Mid-Lakes, the only undefeated team left in Wayne Finger Lakes boys or girls basketball. Another nice week for Mid-Lakes, 57-46. They beat Aquinas. Elena Forbes with 19 points. Kara Walker with 18 points, 14 rebounds. Macy Kisner, 15 points, 13 rebounds, 7 steals, almost a triple-double. And then they go at Penn Yan and come out with a 12-point win, 32 points, for Elena Forbes in that one. Another double-double for Macy Kisner, 12 points, 11 rebounds. How much you guys know about Mid-Lakes girls?
I heard they're good.
Yeah, state Final Four last year.
Yeah, I heard Elena Forbes is really
It's
good.
like nice.
I haven't heard too much, though.
Yeah, I'd go watch a couple of their games, and I know some of the players.
Honestly, I wouldn't go watch a girls' basketball game if it wasn't Mid-Lakes. That's just honest.
Just Mid-Lakes
That's
would be
just
the
being
only one,
honest.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Pretty fun to watch.
yeah, I got a daughter, so I like girls basketball. There was a time when I would prefer not to watch a girls game versus a boys game, but certain teams like Mid-Lakes and the South Seneca girls, and some of the Minders teams, I really appreciate the way some of these teams play. They're really fun to watch. And Mid-Lakes is certainly one of those teams remaining undefeated. Tough loss for Minders in the East this week at Geneva, 49-35. Lauren Devaney, 22 points, 12 rebounds. In that one for Minders, Mackenzie Higbee had 14 points and 5 rebounds. She's just a freshman. Waterloo, a nice out-of-league win against Avon, 53-46. Jasmine Lewis with 13 points. Carrie Jensen with 12. Mackenzie Barber with 10. The Wayne girls went at Penn Yan, picked up a 6-point win. And Waterloo also beat Newark this week. And Pelmac also beat Wayne 38-25. Low-scoring game, but that was kind of a key game. Just like the boys, Mid-Lakes kind of the favorite for the girls in the East, and everybody else kind of jockeying for position, hoping to maybe get into position to get an upset and maybe sneak into a share of that league title. But as it stands right now, for the girls, Mid-Lake's rolling. But
We're 7th.
Yeah, Newark said, one game ahead of Penn Yan.
Good job, girls.
Pelmac, Wayne, Waterloo. It's very similar to the boys' standings, where you got that one established first place squad that you expected going in, and everybody else, 2 or 3 teams behind them, trying to establish who's going to be the main contender to them. Here, as we're almost halfway through January, we're about exactly 1 month away from the end of the regular season here. And that brings me to the Finger Lakes West, which, no surprise, South Seneca continues to be the class of that league. They beat Naples 80-28. You guys ever hear of Autumn Coons?
I've never heard of them in my life.
Yeah, well, Naples has a girl named Autumn Coons, and their team scored 28 points in that loss. She had 26 of them. South Seneca, how you guys ever watch any South Seneca girls games?
I heard
they're
they're really good.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, I mean, 2 state Final Fours in the past 4 years, 1 state title. They're going for their 4th straight sectional title this year under Coach Mott. And they just keep reloading, and this year's no different. A great team. We saw them live on Finger Lakes 1 on Thursday night against Romulus. In a game they won 68-41. And going back to that Naples win, Logan Shawless, 14 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks, 6 steals. Not bad. She's just a sophomore. So the next in the long line of Shawless is at South Seneca. Allison Kenyon had 12. And again, Mackenzie Kenyon, her older sister, on that state championship team. So a lot of family ties. Jenna McDonald, 10 points, 6 assists, 6 steals. Emma Fletcher, 11 points. Jade Parsons, 11 rebounds. Business as usual. I think they still are looking to improve to get to that quality of, sectional champion and then maybe making another run at a state Final Four. And last year they beat Red Jacket in the C3 finals, and Red Jacket had not been impressive early on, but man, they're coming on now. They had a 72-26 win against Honeoye. Sarah Van Aken had 23.7 rebounds. Mackenzie Shartle had 17, and then Elizabeth LaBombard had 11 rebounds. Then they took it to Naples, 78-41. Autumn Coons with 32 in that game, but Sarah Van Aken, 31 points, 12 rebounds. Brooklyn Hanley, 17 points. Sydney Close, 13.6 assists, 11 steals. So a lot of big numbers in the Finger Lakes West girls this week. And the Lady Wildcats of Marcus Whitman are starting to play better. Couple nice wins this week. They beat Romulus 39-29. Maddie Ryan had 11. Emily Paddock had 10. And then they beat HAC 42-21. And Emily Paddock 17 points in that one. Elia Beverly with 10. Let's look at the Wayne County girls standings. And coming up, not this week, but next week, we've got the Red Jacket girls at South Seneca in a game that could decide the Finger Lakes West League for the girls. Marcus Whitman right there, too. And the Romulus Lady Warriors, despite that loss to South Seneca, having themselves a nice season. And the Dundee, I just want to mention Dundee. They're a little resurgent after being down the past few years. So that brings us to the last league that we got to talk about here, the Wayne County Girls League. And it was a really, really interesting week at the top of the Wayne County standings. And while I talk about it, I'll put the standings right up there. Marion entered the week undefeated. Lions beat them. And then Gananda, who had lost previously to Marion, crushed Marion. And Clyde, or wait a second, let me get this straight. The Gananda crushed Lions. So let me go through the scoring here. First off, on Tuesday night, Lions went to Marion and got a 52-48 win. Caden Craigo had 18 points in that one. Abigail DeFisher, 28 for Marion, and that was a big, big win for Lions, who for a moment pulled even in the loss column with Marion in Wayne County and Gananda. And then Lions had to go to Gananda, and you're like, man, this is, tough week for Lions. They passed test one, see how they do in the second test of the week, and Gananda was all over them, 68-38. I mean, 30-point loss. Didn't see that coming. Gananda, certainly a contender in C1 for the girls, as usual. Peyton Daffler with 25 points in that win for Gananda. And then Gananda also went on to beat North Rose Wolcott 62-28. Peyton Daffler 27.7 rebounds. Emma Drake 13.7 rebounds. Brianna Trotta 11 rebounds. And Lindsay Wonder had 10 rebounds. And then Marion got back on the winning track, defeating Sodus 69-43. The other news out of Wayne County this week, you see Red Creek Rams at 5-4. They got to a rough start to the season, and Izzy Wilbur, the sophomore, been on varsity. She's a 1,000-point scorer. Is just a sophomore. Plenty more points to come. But man, her scoring has been down a little bit this year. Way down, some single-digit nights, which is unlike her. But man, I don't know what happened, but she had a huge week this week. Red Creek went to Williamson, 60-39 they win, and Izzy Wilbur, 36 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 7 steals. Jackie Rice, 14 points and 8 rebounds in that one. And then a tough game for Red Creek, had to go all the way to East Rochester, and they win that one fairly easily, 69-58. Izzy Wilbur, 45 points, 5 assists, 12 rebounds. So good to see Izzy Wilbur playing some good basketball. So that brings us to our power rankings. And let's start with the girls here this week. First of all, you guys follow the power rankings?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't mean anything. I mean, so the 3 Wayne Finger Lakes leagues, if you're not all in the same sectional classification, but I think it's a good way to kind of get a gauge on how everything's looking. So if I pull up the girls here, Mid-Lakes, of course, number 1 again. Although I'd love to see South Seneca and Mid-Lake score off. It'll never happen. But Mid-Lake comes in at 2. And then from there, it's just a hodgepodge. You could move some of those teams around 6 or 7 up to number 3 or 4, and I don't think you get too many arguments. But right now, Palmac at 3 after beating Wayne this week at 4. Waterloo girls at 5. So you got 4 of the top 5 Finger Lakes East. Then the Gananda girls with a great week are up to 6. Thought maybe they even rise higher. We'll see how it goes moving forward. Red Jacket was out of the rankings last week. Now they're all the way up to 7 after a strong week. Geneva Panthers, a tough schedule despite a losing record with that win over Minders, is back in at 8, Minders at 9, and Marion falls all the way to 10. They were as high as 3 at one point this season. Just one loss, but to see Lions beat them and then see Gananda crush Lions, I don't know. And there's always that, honestly, as good as Marion and Lions and Gananda are, Lions played Minders girls in Seneca Falls last week, and Minders won the game fairly easily. So it's tough as you see Lions falling all the way out of the power rankings, even after beating Marion. But then, like I say, they got just destroyed by Gananda. So it's tough when you're evaluating the girls. But let's go to the boys side of things here and take a look at those power rankings. Wayne 1, Lions 2. Choose your poison. And then look at this, Geneva 3, Newark 4. What do you guys think about that?
Well, we play them on Tuesday, so
that's what I say. We'll wait and find out Tuesday. So I wouldn't worry because that'll get sorted out by next week.
Oh yeah, well,
it'll get sorted out.
So and I'll talk to you guys about that game in a second. Newark 4, Marcus Whitman all the way up to 5. Man, they're so much fun to watch. And again, you have to ask yourself sometimes, what would happen if the top team in the West played one of the top teams in the East or Wayne County, and we don't get to see that too much. We do have Marcus Whitman coming to Seneca Falls to play Minders in a few weeks.
And they used to be in the East.
So that'll be a good game. The Gananda boys playing great basketball up to number 6. They got Lions this week. Waterloo boys, pretty inconsistent. They've really looked incredible at times, beating Newark and beating Minders, but then losing badly to Greece Odyssey and Greece Olympia, both two teams in their classification. So we'll see what happens going forward with them. Naples has bounced back after their first loss of the season at Whitman. East Rochester Bombers are good, and then the Red Jacket Indians are a little overlooked in the Finger Lakes West. So, and again, you got to ask yourself, what happens if the Minders boys play the Red Jacket Indians or the East Rochester Bombers or Naples? I think that Minders would be favored in those games, but it's tough to do these rankings at the bottom when you got like a couple 1 or 2, 3 loss teams like Naples or Red Jacket, and then you got teams in the East like Mid Lakes, Penn and Minders, who you think might win those games if they squared off, but yet they've got 500 records or losing records. So, but those are the power rankings for the week, and that brings us to the week ahead. And on the boys' side of things, Tuesday night, Gananda at Lions. Finger Lakes one will be there. I'll call the game along with Matt Barr. And they're going to have to try to contain Justice Smith in the Atwood, which is something not many people can do. But it's going to be. I'm interested to see how Coach Thompson and the Blue Panthers fare at Lions. And again, I mentioned that Lions has to go to ER, but other than that, this is their last chance to lose a game maybe in Wayne County. So we'll be there. Meanwhile, about 15 miles away, it's going to be Newark at Geneva. And you looking forward to that one?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Should be a pretty good
power rankings.
Yeah, that's 3 or 4. So side on the court. I know that Coach Miller and the Panthers are going to be pretty hyped up for that one as well. Kyle, you're going to probably have Liam Ryan, deal with. You know a lot about anything about Liam Ryan, their point guard?
He's quick, makes good decisions. That's really it.
He's aggressive on defense too.
You guys going to zone him?
Yep.
Probably.
You going to zone everybody? Is there any games where you will play man-to-man this year?
I think we played 30 seconds of man, not even this whole year.
Played a soft one.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, we played a soft press, like a full court man. That's it. That's the only time we really played man this year.
So you go full court press man-to-man, and then if they beat the press, you'll fall back into the zone?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not surprised to hear that you would be zoning up this Geneva team. With, they got some size inside, and can't wait to see what happens in that one. Also, this week on Tuesday night, Minders Blue Devils traveled to Ontario to face Wayne. Mid Lakes is at Waterloo. Red Creek's at North Rose Wolcott, big rivalry game. That's why we mentioned it. Honeoye at Naples, another big rivalry game in the West. And then on Thursday night, Naples is at Dundee. Bloomfield's at Marcus Whitman. Lions at Red Creek. Red Creek is having a decent little season too there. So Lions has to go on the road. Could catch them sleeping. Friday night, Mid Lakes at Geneva and Minders at Newark. Another game on FingerLakes1.com. You guys get more excited when you know we're coming to do a game?
Yeah.
And what is it about? Like, I just want to learn for myself. From some of the kids we cover. What is it you like about when we come to a game?
I don't know. It just is a different feeling. Like, makes it feel like it's more of a big deal, I guess.
Yeah. And so, do you guys, when we did that game against Wayne, I know you guys didn't win, but you guys go back and watch that when you get home at night or the next morning?
Oh, I watched it right when I got home. I was up to like
Me
11:30,
too.
12 at night.
Do you like my call on your threes?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, the first one I said trifecta, and then Tony Robinson took over, and then the second one I can't remember. I don't know. I try to vary it up, but yeah, I'm glad you guys go back and watch those games. And you mentioned that you watch sometimes some of the other games we do.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like watching the games you guys do and trying to because you guys break down the games and stuff.
Yeah. And how about Ray? You ever listen to any of the games on the radio when you can't get out there? Like some of the, whether it's WAC or WGVA? Not as much?
Yeah, not as much.
Try to.
Yeah, we try to.
Yep.
It's harder.
Girls schedule this week on Tuesday night. Red Creek's at North Rose Wolcott. Romulus at Minders. That's a weird one. They played already this year at Romulus. Now they're playing at Minders. Marcus Whitman at Penn Yan. Should be a good one. Wednesday night, Wayne is at Minders, Penn Yan's at Palmac, and Waterloo is at Mid Lakes. Waterloo's been playing great. I said a couple weeks ago that I think Mid Lakes will win the East, but I think they'll lose 2 games. Well, they haven't lost since then, and so I'm running out of opportunities for them to lose. This is one. I'm not anti-Mid Lakes. Matter of fact, I'm a big Mid Lakes fan, and I apologize for not getting them more on Finger Lakes 1. I know we're going to get them coming up here. We're going to get, when Mid Lakes goes back to Waterloo, that's a game that's going to be on Finger Lakes 1. I know that. Friday night, Lions at East Rochester. Marion at Gananda. There's a big one. Mentioned Marion beat Gananda. I think Gananda's going to have revenge on their mind when they host the Black Knights. Penn Yan's at Wayne. Red Jacket at Romulus. Newark at Minders, and then this weekend there's a little tournament at Our Lady of Mercy High School with Palmac and Mid Lakes both being involved in that one. I think that might even be Saturday, Sunday. So we are almost at an hour, so if you're watching on Finger Lakes TV Spectrum channel 1304. In about 60 seconds, we're going to cut off, so we'll see you guys next week. For everybody else, we'll continue on here with the Newark Red Seniors in studio. And what happens on a Friday night for you guys in Newark? What do you guys do?
What do? We go, I don't know, we chill.
Yeah.
What does that mean? You go outside where it's cold and just sit there and chill?
I don't know, we just chill. We go out to eat sometimes.
Yeah, to Wegmans. Wegmans is our spot.
You guys like to go to Wegmans and go get a sub?
Before games, that's where we go.
We're very fortunate enough to have a Wegmans, so
Yeah.
use it up.
Yeah, I like the subs at Wegmans. Is that usually what it is, subs, or you go over to the deli section and get some of those pre-made meals, or what?
Actually, for the Wayne game, I went to Wegmans, got some pizza logs, some mozzarella sticks, and some chicken wings
too.
Yeah.
Where else do you guys like to eat besides
Parker's.
Wegmans?
Parker's.
For a fact.
Oh, yeah.
Parker's in Newark, right?
Yeah, we got a Parker's in Newark.
Yep.
Don't you have one in Seneca Falls too?
Yeah, the best one's in Seneca Falls.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
But yeah, I've been to there's Parker's in Auburn and Geneva too, and the Newark is a good one. We used to cover a lot of Newark Pilots games. We used to live stream some Newark Pilot games and would go there after with the team in the back room there. Did you guys ever go out to some Newark Pilot games in the summer?
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah.
Yep. Any place else you like to eat in Newark besides Parker's? I mean, there's lots of good restaurants. Give some shouts out. So different
Man, we
places.
got a lot of pizza shops.
Yeah, where's your favorite pizza?
We got like more pizza shops than we got gas stations.
We do.
I like Pontillo's.
Pontillo's?
Yeah.
Everybody Pontillo's?
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
differences?
Not Woody's.
I like to do a shout out to Tom Walls.
You don't like Pontillo's?
Nah.
Yeah, what's your
Yeah.
favorite pizza?
It used to be Mark's, but it's Woody's now. 'Cause
Yeah, I know, a lot of
Mark's,
changes.
What is this good?
I have to do a shout out for Tom Walls.
Hey.
I love their
Tom
junker
Walls.
plates.
I had a
Yeah,
conversation
Junker
last
Plate.
night.
Every
That was
time we
good
come
dinner.
to Newark, we go. Me and the crew, we like to set up and then go get a Junker Plate and then head back. Any Lions or Newark's game, we usually end up at Tom Walls. Yeah, love Tom Walls.
Big floats.
NFL playoffs going on. You guys got any Super Bowl picks?
Eagles.
Chiefs, Rams.
Chiefs and
Pats.
Saints.
Well, you guys are naming a lot of teams. Pick one.
Faith
Oh.
and Foles.
Rams.
Eagles.
What?
Faith and
I
Foles.
want
Pats fan all the way.
Okay. Well,
Pats
they got
are
a
gonna
tough
beat
one
the Saints.
later today.
the Chiefs to win.
How come the Chiefs?
I just think they're so fun to watch,
Yeah.
but the Saints too. It's hard.
Saints are going to lose today, so it's not even.
I think they might. They haven't been
Eagles are
playing too
not
good.
winning.
Watch your mouth.
So, before we get out of here, I got 4 seniors up here. You guys thought about what's going on next year? Any plans for after college? We'll start over here and go all the way around.
I think my plans are to play basketball after college and just keep my education going pretty much.
Any idea where? Or?
I mean, there's been a couple places like Nazareth, places like that, so yeah.
But definitely basketball.
Definitely, yeah.
You play any other sports?
No, just basketball.
Just basketball?
Yeah.
Okay. How about you guys? How about you, Kyle?
I'd like to go to Alfred State and then see what goes on from there.
Do you play any other sports?
I play football, but this year I decided to play soccer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you catch some flack from the football coaches?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think he cares so much
we
about
had
what
some
coaches say.
tension, but I decided to go my own way and play soccer and had a great year.
Mm-hmm.
Record wasn't that good. Got selected for senior select. And
That's pretty cool after not playing. Have you ever
Yeah.
played youth soccer before?
No, I
So-
just jumped right.
So what
into it.
position did you play?
Stopper.
Okay.
No, sweeper.
Sweeper.
Actually, I don't
Defense,
really
though.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Position.
Nah, I don't.
Aiden, you must play football.
Adian. Yeah.
Adian. What position on the football team?
I was a linebacker and
Linebacker.
sometimes a tight end.
Okay.
Like
And
yourself.
what do you think about next year after high school?
I want to go to a 4-year to further my education.
Any idea where? Or you looking at any place?
UB and Syracuse are my top 2.
I went to
really wanna go
Syracuse.
to. Yeah, you saw it.
Yeah, I
I
love it.
noticed that.
And what do you want to study? Like, have any idea?
I want to get my MBA.
So business?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jayden, how about you?
I'm going to law school. I'm not going to law
I
school.
didn't know.
I was waiting.
I don't know what I'm about to do. I might go to MCC, and for business, wherever I go, I'm going to do business.
Do you want to play basketball?
That's an option. I got a few schools, coaches talking to me about it, but I'm not really positive yet. I'm not going to close any doors though.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort, play basketball at the next level in terms of time. You got to trying to keep your grades up, and you got to go to practice every day, long road trips. And sometimes it's a lot different than high school in the fact that some of the games just aren't as kind of hyped up, as the games that you played in high school. But a lot of that depends on where you're going and all that. So, you play any other sports?
No, I just play basketball.
Just basketball?
Lame.
Before we go, Ben Cole's playing baseball in Maryland this year, right?
Oh, yeah.
He was a big part of that team. I think that one reason the team struggled last year was that he decided he wasn't going to play basketball. That guy was
Yeah, he's an athlete.
and
Yeah.
most opponents did not like him, which is good for Newark, right? Because he was always bothering people and diving all over the place,
My
and
job last year.
and he had a great head of hair too, Jayden.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Still does.
He still does.
He still does
It's
got a
gotten
good head of
longer.
hair.
So, well, hey guys, thanks a lot for spending time with me up here, making the drive to Seneca Falls. You guys get up a little earlier than normal on a Sunday morning, maybe.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
That's all right.
Well, good luck rest of the way, and I'm hoping that Actually, I don't want to go just yet because we didn't talk about your classification in sectionals. You got Grease Odyssey at the top. They beat Minders last year in the semis, went on to beat Livonia to win the sectional title. They return a lot of their players. They're 10-1 right now. Then in the sectional standings, you guys are next at 2. Hornell's at 3. Then Geneva's at 4, which is just another reason this game Tuesday is so big. And then Greece Olympia comes in at 5. They're athletic, having beaten Waterloo pretty badly twice. And then Waterloo's at 6. Midlake's down at 8. Pelmac down at 10. But I think anybody from even Livonia at 9 has a chance. Batavia's in there. What do you guys know about your section, B2 this year? You watch any of these other teams? You talk about it at all?
Nah, we do talk about it, but the Greece Odyssey, you said?
Yeah.
That's a team that we paid attention to since last year. Obviously Waterloo.
Yeah.
And that's the only really 2 teams that I paid attention to.
About Hornell, seems like Newark and Hornell squared off a lot in the recent years in sectionals, girls and boys.
That run you were talking about when we played Palmyra in the Blue Cross, I think the semis was
Hornell
against Hornell
in Penyan,
and they had a good point guard too.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Jeez, I can't remember. I can picture him. We were at that game.
Something Dagan. Dagan was his last
name. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
But yeah, he's a good player. It was fun to watch.
Yeah,
since I didn't really play that much.
Well, you
freshman,
guys beat Hornell pretty good that year in the semis, and then moved on and beat Pelmac in an instant classic game that you can still watch on Finger Lakes 1. If you go to our YouTube channel and search it up, it's got a ton of views. That was a really nice night, and a lot of Finger Lakes East pride, I think, that night too. You know, seeing 2 Finger Lakes East teams playing in the Blue Cross Arena was really cool, and then the following year again, Minders and Newark. You know, that was really special, I think, to see, Finger Lakes East only finals at the Blue Cross. So maybe it'll happen this year. Like I said, Newark, Geneva, Waterloo, the top contenders. Mid-Lakes may be a dark horse, but teams like Greece Odyssey and Hornell and Greece Olympia, stand in the way of that happening. And certainly we're going to have some good semifinal matchups this year too. So can't wait for the postseason. So once again, fellas, thanks a lot, and good luck rest of the way. Enjoy watching you guys play, and look forward to see what you guys do, rest of the way and into the postseason. Yeah. So thanks for joining us on the Upstate Hoops podcast, and just want to remind you again, you can call 1-866-315-3591, then hit extension 803 for the Upstate Hoops podcast. Leave your first name, where you're calling from, then ask us any question that you want me to answer, or if you don't like something that I said or disagree with what I think about certain teams or players, go ahead and leave the message there. We'll play it back on the air and we'll talk about it. Connect with us on Twitter at FingerLakes1. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Our audio-only podcast is available on iTunes and Stitcher.com. Archive episodes are available at FingerLakes1 TV. And this podcast airs weekly on Finger Lakes TV Spectrum Channel 1304. You can also find our show, live stream games, and local news, weather, and sports 24/7 on the free FingerLakes1.com Android and iPhone app. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you up. I got Jayden on the screen this whole time.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was
Look at that.
What are you doing?
All right. We'll see you.
What are you doing?
I'm confused.
We'll see. It's a one-man show here. Producer, host, all that stuff. So anyways, we'll see you Tuesday night in Lions for Gananda Lions. Have a great week, everybody.